All right, let's talk about something that's probably costing you a ton of money without you even realizing it. We're going to dive into how you can slash your large language model costs by a massive 80%. Yeah, you heard that right. Let's get into it.
But hey, real quick, before we jump in, if you're into staying on top of all this AI tech, do me a favor and smash that like button and subscribe to @BrandTechAuth. You won't miss what's coming next. So, get this. What if I told you that in some of the most powerful AI systems out there, a whopping 80% of your money and your time is just spent waiting? It's kind of crazy, right? That's the vast majority of your cost, just vanishing into thin air while the AI is thinking.
And that right there is what we're calling the 80% problem. It's this huge hidden cost that comes from running these really powerful AI workflows. You know, the ones that are supposed to be making everything more efficient. Kind of ironic, isn't it?
So where does this bottleneck even come from? Well, it's from something called agentic workflows. Now, think of it like this. Imagine you're planning a vacation. You might have one AI agent find you the best flights, right? Then another one finds the perfect hotel, and a third maps out your daily plans. Each of those is a step, an agent. And all that waiting time, all that cost, it stacks up in the gaps between those steps as they pass information back and forth.
Okay, so how in the world do we fix this? Well, it turns out the fight against these crazy AI costs is happening on two totally different fronts. There are basically two main paths to get more efficient.
On one side, you've got what I'm calling the engine room. This is where the super technical folks, the PhDs, are tinkering with the core AI systems. And then, on the other side, you have the workshop. This is for, well, for us. It's all about putting powerful, easy-to-use automation tools in our hands. Let's dig into both.
First up, the engine room. Now, this approach, which comes from a really cool research paper called Aragog, is all about hardcore, system-level efficiency. It's super smart. It dynamically routes AI tasks to the best possible model on the fly. But here's the catch. You pretty much need a PhD to make it work. It's that complex. The payoff, though, it's huge. We're talking boosting performance by over 200% in some cases. Insane.
Okay, now let's flip the coin and look at the workshop solution. This is a whole different world. This approach is all about making AI accessible to everyone. It takes all that crazy complexity we just talked about and hides it behind these simple, visual, no-code interfaces. Seriously, we're talking drag-and-drop tools that let anybody, entrepreneurs, creators, you, me, build really powerful AI automations without touching a single line of code. And this right here, this is exactly what the workshop is all about. See that? Instead of writing a bunch of complicated code, you're just connecting blocks, like digital Legos, to build out your workflow. Honestly, for most of us, this is the fastest way to start saving a ton of time and money with AI. And the best part? You can literally start doing this today. So yeah, let's really focus in on that. Let's talk about what it means to build in the workshop, because this is the hands-on, no-code path you can take as soon as this is over.
So what are the real benefits here? Well, according to sources like K21 Academy, it really comes down to three huge wins. First up is speed. I mean, stuff that used to take developers months, you can now build in minutes. Second, accessibility. The barrier to entry is basically gone. And third, cost. You don't have to go out and hire a whole team of expensive data scientists just to get started. And this quote from the Shashcode channel just nails it. It's a perfect example of the workshop in action. He says, "You can automate your boring work, saving us a lot of time." And that's really the key, right? It's not just about the tech, it's about that amazing feeling when you build something that gets rid of a tedious, annoying task and just gives you hours of your life back every single week. All right, talk is cheap. Let's look at a real-world case study from that same source to see how this actually works in practice. We're going to walk through building an automated AI analyst. Okay, so here's the problem we're trying to solve. Every app out there creates these massive log files, and buried deep inside are what you call silent errors. These are bugs that mess things up for users, but they never actually complain about them. So what happens? Some poor developer has to spend hours manually digging through these files to find the problems. Our goal? To automate that whole painful process. So let's look at the build. It's surprisingly simple, just 4 logical steps. Step 1, you set a timer, a trigger, to make this thing run automatically, say every night at 11 p.m. Step 2, the system goes out and grabs the latest log file. No human needed. Step 3, it takes that file and sends it to an AI with a really simple prompt, something like, "Hey, find all the errors in here and summarize them for me." And finally, step 4, the AI's perfectly clean summary gets posted right into the team's Discord channel. Boom. A super complex task, completely automated. And the result, this is the whole point, right? You get a totally hands-free system that finds bugs before they become huge problems. And it saves the dev team hours and hours of mind-numbing work week after week. That right there, that is the power of building in the workshop.
Okay, let's pull back and look at the big picture again. So we've got the super technical engine room on one side and the easy-to-use workshop on the other. But what's really, really cool is that these two worlds are starting to come together. And that's pointing to a future that's way more powerful than either one alone.
A huge piece of this future is a concept called the Agentic Web Interface, or AWI for short. Now, just imagine a website, but instead of being a pretty, glossy magazine designed for human eyes, it's more like a perfectly organized spreadsheet. It's designed purely for AI agents to read. They can find information instantly, no pop-ups, no weird layouts to get confused by, and that would make automations like that log analyzer we just talked about even faster and more reliable.
And that really brings us to the big takeaway here. The engine room and the workshop, they're not enemies, they're actually partners. All that super efficient, cost-slashing technology that's being invented in the engine room, that's going to become the new foundation for the easy-to-use tools in the workshop. And what does that mean for you and me? It means AI is about to get a whole lot cheaper, way more powerful, and accessible to absolutely everyone.
So, as we wrap this up, I want you to remember this. The power to automate away the boring parts of your job, to build your own custom AI assistants, it's not some far-off future dream. It's here, it's right now. So the only real question is, what are you going to build first?